For 13 million years, the prehistoric ocean had a king, Megalodon, an 18-meter shark with a bite that could shatter a whale's ribcage. That's the story every documentary tells. It's also incomplete. In a Peruvian desert that used to be the ocean floor, paleontology found a skull, 3 meters long, teeth bigger than a human forearm still wedged in the jaw. It belonged to a sperm whale, but not the kind alive today. In 2010, Lambert's team gave it a name, Livyatan melvillei. Livyatan for the Hebrew sea monster, melvillei for Herman Melville. And it lived in the same waters as Megalodon. At the same time, the Tethys Codex opens on a question paleontology couldn't ask before 2010. Two predators ruled the late Miocene ocean. Megalodon, an 18-meter shark, Livyatan melvillei, a 16-meter sperm whale built to bite. Which one was the actual nightmare? They shared the ocean for 3 million years. No fossil shows they ever fought. They probably ate each other's young. One disappeared 7 million years before the other. It isn't the one you'd guess. Melville's Livyatan was named in 2010 for a man who in 1851 thought he was making the white whale up. He wasn't. Before we go anywhere prehistoric, anchor it in today. The sperm whale you'd see surfacing off a whale-watching boat in the Azores or Kaikoura is the last surviving form of this lineage. Same skull architecture, same spermaceti organ, a third of the body length, a tenth of the body mass, a diet of soft-bodied squid. The lineage that produced the modern sperm whale also produced something 13 million years earlier that should not have been possible. Wind it back. The story begins where the ocean is not. In southern Peru, in the Pisco Desert, the cliffs are not made of rock. They are compressed seafloor. The wind exposes the bones of a world that has been gone for 13 million years. In November 2008, on the last day of a field expedition, a Dutch researcher named Klaas Post stumbled on a skull eroding from the sand. 3 meters long, teeth like tusks set in both jaws, upper and lower. He pulled it out. 2 years later, Olivier Lambert's team published the description in Nature. The first complete skull of a creature paleontology hadn't known existed. The late Miocene ocean, roughly 13 to 9.9 million years ago. The Pacific looks nothing like today. Peru sits closer to the equator. The waters off what's now Cerro Colorado are warm, shallow, and rich with nutrients from the Humboldt Current. Megalodon was already there, 18 meters, a bite force of over 100,000 newtons, the largest predatory shark that ever lived. But the skull from Cerro Colorado belonged to something else. 16 meters long, a head that took up nearly a third of its body. Air-breathing, smart, group-living, built to hunt other whales, not by ambush, but by intelligence. The question this codex sets out to answer, of the two, Megalodon and Livyatan, which one was the actual nightmare? The fight begins with the teeth. Megalodon's mouth was a machine built for one thing, shearing. Over 250 serrated teeth, arranged in rows, designed to slice through flesh as the shark thrashed its head. The largest reached 18 centimeters, triangular, brutal, built for one catastrophic bite from below. It seems impossible to counter. Livyatan operated under a different philosophy of violence. Its teeth reached 36 centimeters, twice the length of Megalodon's. They were conical, not serrated, set in both jaws, top and bottom, interlocking like a closed bear trap. Lambert et al., publishing in Nature in 2010, called them the largest functional teeth of any predator ever discovered. Not the largest teeth ever. Tusks and elephant teeth are bigger. The largest teeth designed and used to kill prey. This matters. Modern sperm whales, the only living members of the same lineage, have functional teeth only in the lower jaw. They swallow squid whole. They don't bite. They suck and crush. Livyatan didn't suck. Livyatan bit, The jaws interlocked. They were designed to clamp onto large prey, hold, and tear chunks free. The closest modern analog isn't a sperm whale, it's an orca attacking a blue whale calf, tearing strips of blubber out of the side. Now scale that orca up to 16 meters. Give it teeth twice the length. Most documentaries call Livyatan's teeth knife-sized or banana-sized. Both undersell it. A 36-centimeter tooth, root to tip, is longer than a human forearm from elbow to fingertip. The actual scale doesn't have a good casual comparison. That's why we don't have one. But the teeth were only the first weapon. The second was sitting inside the skull. The second weapon is the spermaceti organ. Spermaceti is the waxy oil in a sperm whale's head. It sits inside a hollow basin at the front of the skull. Modern sperm whales use that basin for two things: as a focusing lens for echolocation clicks, and as a depth control for their 2,000-meter dives. The clicks matter. Sperm whales produce the loudest sounds any animal on Earth has ever made, measured at 230 decibels at the source. A jet engine at takeoff is around 150 decibels. At close range, sperm whale clicks can disorient prey. They may even rupture small fish bladders. The clicks are weapons. Livyatan's skull shows a spermaceti basin bigger and deeper than any modern sperm whales. Lambert's team described the basin in 2010. They revisited it in a 2017 paper on cranial anatomy. We can't measure dead biology. The decibel level Livyatan could have hit is unknowable, but the architecture suggests sound, focused forward, at a magnitude no modern animal matches. Here is the twist. Livyatan wasn't a deep-sea squid hunter like modern sperm whales. It lived and hunted in the sunlit surface waters. So why such an enormous, reinforced basin on its head? The most chilling hypothesis, and it is a hypothesis, not a settled finding, is that the skull itself was a weapon. A 50-ton mammal accelerating, head first, into prey. Speculative. We don't have the soft tissue to confirm it. But the geometry is consistent with high-impact use, and there's still the third thing. What no one can explain. We have no fossil evidence that Megalodon and Livyatan ever fought. Every documentary frame showing them fighting is artistic license. But the question of what would have happened, that's a thought experiment paleontology can answer. In one corner, the shark, an ambush predator, cold-blooded force projected from below. In the other corner, the whale, an intelligent mammal with the largest functional teeth ever produced, the inferred ability to use sound as a sensor, and a head that may have been a weapon. Scenario 1, the shark's ambush. Megalodon's advantage was stealth. Approaching from the dark water below, it was a shadow rising. The attack would be one explosive moment. A burst of speed, jaws open. Not aimed to kill outright, aimed to disable. A crushed fin, a shattered rib. If Megalodon landed the first strike, the fight was over. Advantage Megalodon. Scenario 2, the whale's counter. But Livyatan was an intelligent mammal. It likely had echolocation. It could paint a three-dimensional picture of the water with sound. It might detect a dense, muscular shape rising from below long before the strike came. Surprise is gone. Now it's a confrontation. And Livyatan had options Megalodon didn't. Group hunting. A bite that punctured and held. A head that may have been built to ram. Advantage Livyatan. The honest answer: they probably avoided each other. The risk of injury, even for the winner, was too high. What ended both of them wasn't each other. It was the climate. After 10 million years ago, the late Miocene cooled. Surface waters dropped. The medium-sized baleen whales Livyatan likely hunted, Cetacean and its relatives, declined sharply. Marks and Fordyce documented exactly that collapse in 2015 in Royal Society Open Science. Less prey, colder oceans, smaller hunting range, the mightiest jaws are no defense against a sea that no longer feeds you. Livyatan vanishes from the fossil record around 9.9 million years ago. Megalodon survives another 6.5 million years. Two predators, same ocean, both apex. One outlives the other by longer than humans have existed. The disappearance left a niche. 6 million years later, after Megalodon was gone too, that niche was filled by a new mammalian predator, the orca, smaller. Pack hunting. Built for cooperation, not solo power. The era of macropredator whales did not come back. The Cerro Colorado holotype is the only near-complete Livyatan skull ever found. Everything paleontology knows about this animal comes from that one fossil. Other Livyatan teeth exist, but every reconstruction is built from one skull. What we don't know would fill another video. We don't know how Livyatan hunted, solo or in pods. We don't know its dive depth. We don't know whether it ever crossed Megalodon's path. Klaas Post didn't get the species name. The fossil is housed at the Natural History Museum in Lima. The naming honor went to Herman Melville. And Melville's villain wasn't fictional. In the 1810s and 1820s, an albino sperm whale called Mocha Dick rammed and sank whaling ships off the coast of Chile. A journalist named J.N. Reynolds wrote it up in 1839 in the Knickerbocker magazine. Melville read him. In 1851, he wrote Moby Dick. He thought he was inventing the fear sailors carried into the open ocean. He wasn't. The Livyatan sailors feared had a real ancestor. Same skull architecture, same spermaceti organ, a third of the body length. A diet of soft-bodied squid instead of macropredation. The 2010 fossil paper completed a chain that started 200 years earlier. Sailors felt the Livyatan in the open ocean. They were right by 13 million years. What we have is one skull from Cerro Colorado, 3 meters long, teeth still wedged in the jaw. The same fossil that the desert had spent 13 million years uncovering. What we infer is everything else. What we lost when Livyatan went extinct, the entire macropredator whale role, never came back. Megalodon got the documentaries. Livyatan got buried in a desert and a footnote in a paper. And somewhere in the Pacific tonight, a sperm whale is diving in absolute darkness, clicking for squid that Livyatan would have eaten without chewing. The desert kept the skull for 13 million years. We get the rest. Before Livyatan hunted Megalodon, before sperm whales swam at all, whales had legs, 4-legged, wolf-sized. They hunted along riverbanks 50 million years ago, in what's now Pakistan. The land-to-water shift was extreme, the biggest body plan change in the fossil record. The fossil that proves it sat in a museum drawer, misidentified for almost a century, and it sits in the same family line that produced Livyatan. Why would an animal that could walk give up the land? Tethys Codex.